Today's episode is sponsored by Midwest Fire. For more than 20 years, Midwest Fire has been manufacturing high-quality tankers, tanker pumpers, and fire rescue vehicles in the United States and Canada. Keeping firefighters safe while enhancing their capabilities is what they do best. To learn more, go to MidwestFire.com.
This is Tiger Schmittendorf, Deputy Fire Coordinator for the Erie County Department of Emergency Services. You're listening to the SA Matters radio show with Dr. Rich Gasaway. The SA Matters mission is simple. They want to help us see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes.
Hello and welcome to episode 113 of the Situational Awareness Matters radio show. I'm your host, Rich Gasaway. The purpose of this show is to improve situational awareness and decision-making for individuals and teams who work in high-risk, high-consequence environments. The SA Matters mission is simple: to help you see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes. I'm coming to you today from Detroit, Michigan, where I am in town to deliver two situational awareness programs, one hosted by the Brighton Area Fire Authority and one hosted by Eastern Michigan University School of Police and Fire Staff and Command Executive Development Program. This program, directed by Joanne Bauer, is a 10-week executive development program where leaders from fire and police attend a week-long session, 1 week a month, for 10 months. They're two separate cohorts, but tomorrow they're going to be together for my program. I don't get many opportunities to present to law enforcement community, but when I do, the feedback is pretty consistent. They tell me that they've never had the opportunity to have situational awareness explained to them the way that I do it, and that it makes situational awareness make so much more sense to them. I expect this will be the outcome tomorrow as well, and I'm excited for the opportunity. Hey, have you scheduled a Situational Awareness Matters Tour Stop event for your department or region yet? No? Seriously? What are you waiting on? Did you know that issues related to situational awareness, or the barriers that flaw awareness, are implicated in nearly every significant firefighter casualty report? It's a really, really big deal. The problem is that most firefighters know so little about it. They think so long as they're paying attention or keeping their head on a swivel that they'll have good situational awareness. As anyone who's attended one of my programs can attest, this is simply not the case. Oh, sure, paying attention is an important part of situational awareness development, but it certainly isn't all of it. There's so much more to it. Those who think it's just about paying attention are simply uninformed. Don't be uninformed on a topic that could save your life. There's too much at stake, as situational awareness serves as the foundation for good decision-making, and it's the decision-making that drives the actions that lead to successful outcomes or catastrophic outcomes. If you're interested in attending an upcoming Situational Awareness Matters tour stop, head over to the SA Matters website and click on the blue box on the right side of the homepage labeled Upcoming Events Schedule. More than 500 agencies on 4 continents have hosted Situational Awareness Matters tour stop events. If you're interested in hosting a Situational Awareness Matters program for 2016, just contact me through the SA Matters website Contact Us link on the top of the homepage, and we'll get something set up for you. My 2016 schedule is filling up fast. I only have 6 more slots open in the fall of 2016. So if you want to fill one of those 6 slots, go over to the website, click on the Contact Us tab. I'm also actively booking the 2017 programs. So if you're interested in booking something for 2017, I'm going to warn you now that I'm going to cut back on the number of programs that I'm delivering, so that I can spend more time at home with my family. Since 2009, I've done in the range of 110 to 160 programs a year, and I'm going to cut that down a little bit. So if you're interested in booking something for 2017, now's the time to secure your date. If I fill up for 2017, we sure can look at doing something for you in 2018. But really, do you want to wait till 2018? Maybe you're a member of one of those blessed departments whose members already have a strong understanding of how to develop and maintain situational awareness. But if you think your department can make some improvements, contact me through the SA Matters Contact Us link. Here's a tip how you can host a program at a reduced cost. I schedule many of what I call companion programs. These are programs on adjoining days to other programs. So if you see I'm delivering a program within a couple hours of your department or region, and think you might want to tag along as a companion, contact me. You can save as much as 20% off the program cost by being a companion to an existing program. In today's feature segment, I'm going to discuss 6 red flags that indicate conditions may not be right for interior TAC. I'm going to jump right into the feature segment, but when it's done, stick around because I'm going to announce the upcoming tour stop events where you can attend and join in on these conversations. Okay, let's jump into the feature segment on the 6 red flags of danger. The tones drop for reported residential dwelling fire. On the way, dispatch reports multiple calls confirming a working fire. On arrival, the crew sees fire coming out of the BC corner of a single-story, detached residential. The resident is standing in the front yard. A quick inquiry reveals that they are dazed and confused about what is going on. They're asked if anyone's inside, and they say they don't know. Almost reflexively, training kicks in. The crew pulls an 1 3/4 line, and the lieutenant starts around the left-hand side of the house to complete a 360-degree size-up. So far, everything is textbook. But things are about to change in a most unfortunate way. As the engine crew gets the line charged and advanced to the front door, they are met by the truck crew. The truck captain announces the plan. The truck crew will enter and go to the right on a primary search. The engine crew will advance the hose line down the hallway to the back of the house to extinguish the fire and to provide cover for the truck crew. They open the front door and are immediately met with a blast of heavy, thick, black, angry smoke that is blowing out from the top of the jamb to the bottom sill plate. The pressure forces the black fire out about 6 feet. The heat is intense. The firefighters belly down and get to work. Because they're firefighters, that's what they do. What no one knows yet, the 2 firefighters are going to get burned in just a few moments' time in this environment. But it's on their minds. At least it's on the mind of the firefighter that I interviewed. Red flags. Hindsight is always better than foresight. Recall the mission of situational awareness is to help you see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes. In this case, this firefighter saw the bad things coming, but it didn't change the outcome. The red flags are the clues and the cues that provide conscious or overt awareness of what is going on, or subconscious, covert awareness of what is going on. The red flags are the clues and cues that things may not be right for an interior entry. Red flag number 1, size up. The lieutenant did not complete a 360-degree size up. He started to. He went around the left side of the house and was met with so much heat and fire that he could not get between the 2 houses. Instead of going around the house to the right, he abandoned the 360-degree size up. This would prove to be a mistake, as the visible fire involvement on the rear of the structure was extensive. But the lieutenant didn't know it. Red flag number 2, hose line selection. The firefighter thought the fire was large enough to need a 2.5-inch line for attack, but he pulled an 1 3/4 line instead. He later reported to me that he justified the decision in his mind by saying he didn't want to waste the extra time it would take to get the 2.5-inch line deployed. I have a different explanation for this behavior, but I'll cover that later. Red flag number 3, the interior conditions. When the crew opened the front door, they were met by, in this firefighter's words, a wall of black fire from top to bottom, and it was intensely hot. End quote. He told me he'd never seen anything like it. Novel events, or things that you see for the first time, are some of the most difficult to reconcile under stress because the brain looks for familiar patterns that are sketched on our minds from past experiences. Novel events don't trigger any pattern matches. No pattern match, no intuition. And that can be dangerous. Red flag number 4, the go versus the no-go decision. The firefighter I interviewed truly felt that this was a defensive fire and entry should not be made. But when the captain announced the search crew was going to make entry, this firefighter felt obligated to provide the truck crew protection. He told me later that had he refused to make entry and the search crew got hurt inside as a result, it would have been a career-ending decision for him. The risk of not entering was greater than the risk of making the entry, at least in his mind. So he said nothing and made the entry. Red flag number 5, inadequate water. He was making his way down the hallway in zero visibility conditions. He had his fog nozzle set on straight stream and was alternating between hitting the ceiling and hitting the base of the fire. Though it was only the fire that he could see, there was much more fire that he could not see. He later told me that he had applied the water as he had been trained. As he recalled, he flowed water constantly, which differs from how many firefighters are trained to apply water. He noted that the water was doing nothing to cool the environment around him. He realized he was outgunned. He did not have the water to overwhelm the heat that was being generated by the fire. But he didn't leave. Unbeknownst to this firefighter, his backup firefighter got so hot that he retreated back to the front door. The nozzleman didn't know this, leaving him alone in the hallway. Later, his partner would explain that it was his plan to get out of the environment for just a moment and then rejoin the nozzleman. Also unbeknownst to this firefighter who was on the nozzle, the truck crew was overrun by the heat and had exited back out the front door. I asked the nozzleman if he was aware the truck crew had exited, since this was essentially the only good reason for him to be holding his position against the fire. He wasn't aware of that. He noted that if a message was transmitted over the radio, he didn't hear it. Red flag number 6, the flashover. Now this firefighter is in this hallway alone. In fact, he's the only firefighter remaining in the structure. But he doesn't know that. What he does know is he's losing the battle. But he doesn't give up. There's too much at stake. He tells me later he could not give up providing the cover for the truck crew. He says he would have died there first. And that's almost what he did. The flashover happened in seemingly slow motion, as he described it, as a scene from the movie Backdraft, although he laughed when he made the analogy. The flames came from above, rolling right over toward me. I thought to myself, this is not going to be good. The heat was intense. He was getting burned. Reflexively, he turned his hose toward the ceiling in an effort to cool the environment that he was in. The flames retreated, but it didn't get any cooler. Now he was enveloped in zero visibility black fire and being baked by steam which he had generated. Each gallon of water he vaporized turned to 1,600 gallons of steam, and this firefighter was in a bad spot. He didn't call a mayday. He didn't have time. He was in the fight for his life. He didn't think about dying. He didn't have time. The rescue. When the truck crew exited, the captain saw the backup firefighter at the front door preparing to enter again and rejoin the nozzleman. Instead, the truck captain made entry and grabbed the nozzleman, now seemingly paralyzed, on the hallway floor, and dragged him outside. There in the yard lay a charred and smoked nozzleman. While everyone was out, a mayday was called because there were 2 firefighters down, albeit both of them were outside the structure. In my interview with this firefighter, like so many others that I've conducted, he told me he saw the signs of danger. Red flags, as he called them. There were many, as he described it. He said his intuition told him they should not go in, but he ignored every one of the red flags. He did not express his concern to the captain either. He followed the orders and did his job. The truck crew, making entry on the premise to search for victims, lasted about 30 seconds inside the structure. This is a pretty good, albeit hindsight, indicator that it may have been a better decision to ventilate the gases out of the environment prior to making such a high-risk entry. Further, it is very reasonable to assume that an environment that drives out seasoned firefighters wearing full protective gear is not an environment compatible with life for a civilian wearing street clothes. It is delusional to think a person who has spent minutes in an environment that drives out firefighters in seconds can be saved. The chances under such intense conditions that firefighters would stumble upon a body, remember the firefighters only were in there several seconds, is pretty remote. If luck were on their side and they could drag a person out before being caught in the certain flashover, it would probably be a body removal. But the life would not be saved. Second and third degree burns, over 70% of a human body, are injuries not compatible with life. The story I shared above is true. I may have inadvertently made minor alterations or oversights in the details, but the core facts and the red flags are accurate depictions. I see this happening again and again. The definition of insanity is when we do the same thing over and over again and expect the results to be different. Does the fire always flash over when the conditions are ripe for a flashover? No, there are no absolutes in any environment with so many uncontrolled variables. But when the conditions are right, to make an entry is to dance with the devil. And for whatever reason, dancing with the devil seems to be a favorite and revered trait of firefighters. I'm on a quest to understand what compels firefighters to ignore the clues and the cues that form situational awareness. Why do some firefighters see the bad things coming in time to change the outcome and defy the alarm bells that go off in their head and take the risks anyway? Is it because we're firefighters and that's what we do? Is it peer pressure? Is it ego? Is it the insecurity of having to live up to the macho persona we have made for ourselves? Is it inexperience? Is it fear of criticism from peers if we don't go? Or is it some element of all of these? Okay, as I always do, I want to take a moment to thank the departments and the organizations that have hosted some of our recent Situational Awareness Matters tour stop events. I do this to show my appreciation to those organizations who put forth the effort to organize, advertise, and fund great training experiences for their members and for others in their region. Your efforts to bring this valuable and powerful training on situational awareness and high-risk, high-consequence decision-making to your members and others around you is greatly appreciated. Recent tour stops included the Spokane, Washington Fire Department and the Montana Fire Alliance. And together between those two, I did 6 programs. And of course, where I am now at the Brighton Area Fire Authority in Michigan and the Eastern Michigan University School of Police and Fire Staff and Command Executive Leadership Program. If you're interested in joining me in an upcoming Situational Awareness Matters tour stop, on June 22nd, I'll be at the Texas Interstate Mutual Aid Association Conference, June 24 and 25 at the Firefighter Fire Department in Texas. Then I'm going to take a few days off to enjoy some time with my family. Back on the road July 6th for the Iowa Fire Training Bureau in Ames, Iowa. July 7th, the Overland Park Fire Department in Overland Park, Kansas. July 8th, the Shawnee Fire Department in Shawnee, Oklahoma. And then I'm going to take a little bit of time off for my annual Boundary Waters Wilderness Canoe trip, a trip I've taken every year since 2005 and continues to serve as one of the highlights of my summer. Then July 23 to 26, I'll be at the NSA convention in Phoenix, Arizona. And then I'm going to chaperone a Boy Scout high adventure trip where we're going to sail off the tip of Florida for 14 days. 2 weeks on a boat with my 16-year-old son and no smartphones. Stay tuned for how that works out. August 17th, 19th, and 20th, I'll be at Fire Rescue International in San Antonio where I'm delivering 3 programs. August 22 to 26, I'm delivering a week-long Company Officer Development Institute program for Zionsville Fire Department in Indiana. The Company Officer Development Institute is a week-long program, no PowerPoint, no book, no theory, no BS, just how company officers, what they need to know to be successful in their positions and to keep the problems out of the chief's office. How about that? August 27th, I'll be staying on for an encore program of flawed situational awareness hosted by Zionsville Fire Department. And then on August 28th, a flawed situational awareness program for Heartland Deerfield Fire Department in Michigan. Thank you so much to our program hosts. Here's hoping there will be a tour stop near you and we'll get a chance to meet up. While I was delivering programs in southwest Minnesota earlier this year, I had the opportunity to stop by and visit my amazingly awesome sponsor, Midwest Fire. They make all poly fire apparatus that are changing the industry. You seriously need to check them out at MidwestFire.com. I had a chance to sit down and talk to a few of their employees about what separates Midwest Fire from their competitors. Here I got the chance to talk to account executive Dalton Lingbeck about the all poly design of the Midwest Fire trucks. Let's listen in. Okay, Dalton, I see in the advertisements that one of the things that differentiates Midwest Fire from their competitors is this all poly design. So what does that mean, all poly? Describe that for me.
Yeah, well, poly is actually pretty common in the industry. Poly tanks are seen inside bodies all over. Manufacturers do them all the time. They've started around the 80s, I believe. But all poly means that our tank and body is all poly integrated. It's one big superstructure. You're not sliding a tank inside of a body. You're not sliding a tank anywhere. It's actually one big built body that we do, and it's made of 3/4 inch copolymer. It's extremely durable, and it's industrial grade, and it's the kind of poly you can beat the crap out of.
Okay, well, I'm a little bit of a skeptic there because you say that poly is durable, and I own a lot of things that are plastic. In fact, I was just at home last week, and we had this appliance that had plastic parts on it, and I accidentally dropped it on the floor, and it didn't shatter, but it just cracked so easy, and I only dropped it, a couple of feet. So I'm a skeptic. When you say poly is durable, I think I think of poly or plastic as something that isn't durable, that's going to crack easy or dent easy. So you got to convince me on this one.
Well, yeah, trust issues definitely come up with poly. But let me grab down here something really quick. As you can probably see on the screen right now, this is a piece of poly that we use. It is the same type of material, the same thickness. It's 3/4 inch. And what you might notice on here is that it has bullet holes. So basically, if you trust a bulletproof vest to take bullet holes, I mean, when they first tested it, they wanted to shoot holes through it and see if it worked. And you couldn't shoot holes through it. So what do? We did the same exact thing. We wanted to shoot holes in the theory that poly wasn't durable and poly wasn't reliable. And we tried to shoot holes through it, but as you can see right here, the bullets actually could not go through. And there's actually a bullet stuck in the bottom of this one because it wouldn't get all the way through. Now, truth be told, there was one weapon that did go through this piece of poly, and it was a 30-06 high caliber rifle. It did go through, but that's a 30-06 high caliber rifle.
So it was a 45 caliber on the other side?
Yep.
And so what I'm looking at is essentially there's marks on the poly where the bullets hit, but as you show me the backside, it didn't go all the way through.
No, yeah, and the backside doesn't even have any dents on the backside.
Huh.
Actually, when we were doing this test video, one of the bullets, I think it was on the 380, actually bounced off back towards the person that shot the piece of poly. So no, the bullets did not go through. They actually either stuck in there or they bounced off.
Okay.
That's how strong this stuff actually is.
All right, so there you have it, right from the horse's mouth, shooting holes, literally, in the concept that poly is not a durable product on which to build a fire truck. So if you're interested in learning more, check them out at MidwestFire.com. Thank you, Sarah Atchison, and all the staff at Midwest Fire for your awesome commitment to improving first responder safety. I sincerely appreciate your support of my mission. Hey, if you're interested in attending an upcoming Situation Awareness Matters tour stop, head over to the SA Matters website and click on the blue box on the right side of the homepage that says Upcoming Events Schedule. If you have someone you would like to see as a guest on the show, contact me through the SA Matters website Contact Us link. And if you've experienced or witnessed a near miss and would like to have a platform to share your lessons learned with others, please contact me through the SA Matters website. Think about it for a moment. The lessons learned from your near miss event could save the life of another first responder. That's pretty powerful. If you want to share your experience, contact me. If you haven't subscribed to the SA Matters radio podcast show yet, please consider taking a moment to do that on iTunes or Stitcher Radio. And while you're there, please consider leaving some feedback on the show. And if you like the show, give it a 5-star review. This really is important because it inspires me to work harder for you. A lot of time and effort goes into producing and recording and editing a show and lining up guests. Your feedback lets me know that you appreciate it. In case you didn't know, I've written 3 books on situational awareness. These books contain critical lessons on improving your situational awareness and high-risk decision-making. If you're interested in a copy, you can get it through the SA Matters website store or through Amazon.com. If you're not a member of the SA Matters community of learners yet, please consider joining us there. You can become a member get connected with me a couple of different ways. On Twitter, you can follow @RichGasaway or @SA Matters on Twitter. The SA Matters Twitter community is almost 17,000 members strong. You can also join the SA Matters community. On the right side of the homepage is a red box that says Become a Member. If you do that, you'll get a special report that I've created just for new members called 25 Best Practices for Improving First Responder Safety. You can also join a private Facebook group. That's at facebook.com/groups/SA Matters. There's a discount coupon in there for 50% off the latest book, so that'll save you $20. On LinkedIn, you can find me at Rich Gasaway, and you can also watch the videos that I've created on the SA Matters TV YouTube channel. Well, that's it. Episode 113 is complete. Thank you to our sponsor, Midwest Fire. Thank you to all of our live event hosts, and thank you, our listeners, for sharing some of your valuable time with me today. I really appreciate your support of the SA Matters mission. Be safe out there, and may the peace of the Lord and strong situational awareness be with you always.
You've been listening to the Situational Awareness Matters radio show with Dr. Richard B. Gasaway. If you are interested in learning more about situational awareness, human factors, and decision-making under stress, visit samatters.com. If you are interested in booking Dr. Gasaway for an upcoming event, visit his personal website at richgasaway.com.